Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the OrangeTee and Thai daily online live streaming. My name is Vincent Jen. I will be the speaker for today, and I'm touching on the topic Learn to Learn. This was not the original topic that I wanted to share at the beginning. But as we are in the halfway through the circuit breaker now, seeing many of our colleagues actively involved in learning, online learning, I'm extremely delighted as I'm from the Learning and Development Department. But I see some issues and I received quite a lot of feedbacks regarding the effectiveness of intensive learning. It's gonna be the most hardworking period for many of you comparing to your old days when you are marking for exam papers back in school. So today I would like to share on the topic, Learn to Learn, how to make your learning more effective. So the agenda for today, we just need to find out why, how, what, who, when that we need to do the learning. So the fundamental bottom line is that after today's session, I wish that all of you will be happy learning and even happier when you get to see the result of your learning. So why do we learn? Okay, so when it comes to why, okay, that is first question maybe I would like to ask you is why do you learn? Okay, so that goes to the same answer. Why do I learn? Because the answer is very simple. Because why do you need to know why do you learn? Because you're an adult. If you don't know the motivation and the purpose of learning, you won't learn well. This is the same, and it's mentioned by almost all the adult learning theories. For example, andragogy by Malcolm Knopf. Andragogy as in Andragogy. Okay, if during your free time, you would like to read up on this person, Andragogy by Malcolm Knopf. To him and to many other learning theories, okay, having the purpose in mind and right direction is very, very important. If not, your learning outcome will just diminish at the end of the day. You spend a lot of time learning, yet you don't get to see your understanding improve and don't get to see the result. So next, same question, I'll just ask one more time. Why do I need to learn? Sorry to say that as we become adult, as we age, as we grow older, comparing to younger days, when our parents ask us to do something, we just do it. Okay, but as at our age now, we always need to know the purpose, the ideas, what is in it for me, what for I do this learning. One thing I'd just like to tell you that, okay, our learning ability decides our earning ability. Gone are the days when agents just need to have sales skills and talk and speak their way through. They go to every project, every property, they just tell the buyer, this is a best buy, must buy, sure buy. The prerequisites of being a successful agent are way more than yesteryears. We can't be merely jack of all tricks, but we need to be master of some, many. We need to have good financial knowledge as a salesperson. We need to have IT knowledge in order to do marketing. We need to have good insights of economics, etc. On top of the basic know-how on filling documentation. So click on slides. Okay. So why do I need to know the learning techniques? Okay, since we are talking about learn to learn. So first of all, why you want to learn, why you need to learn, and next, we are talking a little bit on the learning techniques today. So why do you need to learn learning techniques? Because at this point in time, okay, the only constant is change. The product life cycle of many products, the product life cycle of many products or even our real estate market is getting shorter. For example, it took many years for pages to be replaced by mobile phones. Those people who still remember using pages, okay? And some years for the smartphones to replace Nokia and Motorola. But today, now, iPhone, for example, is out in the market almost on a yearly basis, the new iPhone. look on the left side of the slides. There is a curve you can see. Okay, don't worry, there is not a crack on your screen. Neither is a strand of your hair drop there. This is actually what we call a learning curve. Let me just take financial knowledge as an example. At the beginning, we are new to it. We are curious about financial knowledge. When we become first day in the industry, first day become an agent, we are happy to learn. Like what's equity loan is for people with asset, no money, pledging for people with money, no asset. Simple as that. And we learn fast. Okay. And from A to point B, that's what I mean by learning curve. From point A to point B at the beginning, we learn very fast and we see our own improvement. And we start making money, we start closing deals, and we are happy at point B. But as things get more complicated, and also when we hear too much from those self-declared experts introducing creative financing methods and so on and so forth, we get confused and we got a bit blur. We lose interest and we give up. I don't know how many of you are in the same path as that on this learning curve because of too many overloaded with information, and then you're hearing from too much, so you give up at point B. So what happened after point B? We start to lose our knowledge. We start to forget what we have learned. And what happened next? The curiosity and peer pressure and fear of losing out, the kiasu part of us. At point B, point C, we give up. So what we do is we just learn something new. Financial knowledge, yeah, it's very good for me. But now I'm kind of tired, sick and tired of it. I don't want to go on to learn because I just don't know how to go forward. Okay, so based on that, I will listen to my friends and say that, hey, now as a salesperson, what's more important to you is actually IT marketing knowledge. It's actually IT knowledge. So what we do, we start to look up, Google it, find a lot of information, listen from everyone around us. From SEO, we learn to SEM, pay-per-click, Facebook marketing, and YouTube marketing. Same thing. We get ourselves very, very, very busy. But depends on our learning techniques. Some of you do it well thereafter after learning, but some may just give up again due to the information overload. So now what do you have is you have 2 times learning curve. You learn about finance, you learn about IT, but every time you from A to B in a short time, and then you give up at B, and then what happens is that we move on to something else. And that's when we go back to C actually. So this is the why. So as I say, as an adult, you need to know why and know the purpose before you want to do something very well into it. Yeah. So next I'm going to share how. All the learning start with input. What do I mean by input? Most people just focus way too much on input, like what is happening now. Some people go for seminars, go for CPD, especially during the circuit breaker situation. Many of us attend the online class in the morning. We watch live streaming and then read a little bit of the OTT e-learning CPD during lunchtime because it's very convenient. So instead of taking a book, we read it during lunchtime. Okay, afternoon, we attend the afternoon class and we will watch the 3 p.m. live stream and then continue with Facebook or divisional night classes after dinner. So the whole day, it is learning, input, and more input. But so far, how do you find your past 30 plus days of learning so many things? Do you find it as effective? And do you feel comfortable with learning so many things? Maybe I'll just share with you what is the problem. There's no problem with learning. But if we only input without output, this is what we call shallow learning. This is not good. This is not what we want, shallow learning. For example, do you have friends who love to read books? Then after reading a book and come to you, for example, say, hey, Vincent, this is a good book. Pass to me. And then I ask, so what's so good about this book? They think about it and they say, it is a good book. Read it. I say, so what is the takeaway of the book that you just read? Because you sound so excited, so happy about it. And then they turn back to me and say, Vincent, read this book. It is a good book. So what it shows here is that many of us, we are doing shallow learning. We learn a lot, but it's actually very, very shallow. What's the point of learning something, but if you can't implement it, then that will be just purely intellectual entertainment, but nothing else. All right. So now I would like to share with you how to learn well, how to make your learning meaningful. If they say you just want to be entertained, watch a movie, read a storybook, do something that you like. You don't need to spend time on learning when the outcome is not there. So that's why I say just now, when there's input, and more input, you get confused. And I believe now is at a point in time that a lot of us are going through. So next, we need to have an output. So next, I will go to. So let's say now we break down learning into 4 steps. Okay, many of us are very familiar with step 1, learn. To us, learning is just very simple. Just learn, just attend class after class, just attend it. Okay, but what we want here is what quality input. Okay, and I don't know how many of you are like me. Normally, when we attend class, maybe in last time in the physical class in the CPD classroom, okay, we bring our phones along with us. So whenever the phone rings, what do? Of course, pick up the phone. Excuse me, I need to go to pick up the phone call. We are very busy as salesperson. We cannot miss any call. So what happens is that we are actually multitasking. We are handling the phone, our learning at the same time. But what happened is that we actually mess up our momentum of input. What is more important is having a quality input. And next, I think I would like to share more. A lot of people think that learning just stops here, but it's not true. Okay, you have to go to the next step is actually reflect. After learning something, pause a while and ask yourself, what is the takeaway? How can I use this information in my life? How can I use this information in my work? When you ask yourself this question, you reflect, and this is the point when learning solidifies. Okay, for example, how many of you attended Raymond Khoo's consumer seminar? You know the 7 keys that why you should buy property now. And you attended Alvin Khoo's lesson on how to find the property house spot. But how many of you take it seriously? Okay, of course, there are a few of you are very lucky and very good. Yeah, we are very good that clap for you that you actually use the seminar to actually close deal for yourself. Perfect. But majority of the people out there, they're actually finding it as an entertainment. They watch it and then they look at the 7 key reason to buy property now. They look at the property house spot. Then after shared by Alvin Khoo, do you remember anything that he said? Do you remember? Have you ever reflect on what you actually learned? So after reflecting, what's next is actually implementation. This is the key portion of learning. This is the place where magic takes place. But unfortunately, many people really miss out this portion. Many people learn something new and they feel good and they feel inspired. And they go on to learn something else. But what is the problem of learning without implementation? Okay, this is the part when you learn a lot. I attended morning AM class, I attended e-learning, PM class, and even at night I attend class. 3 classes a day, 4 classes a day. Some of the agents even told me that, oh, bro, I'm actually having 2 screens, I'm attending 2 classes at the same time. I was looking at them like, oh, so what have you learned? Okay, this is an illusion. It's just a false sense of competence. You feel that you learn a lot, you feel good, but the actual fact is you don't really get it. Okay, because number one thing, always learn and reflect. Ask yourself the question, what have I learned in the past half an hour? What have I learned in the past an hour? With the objective entering the classroom, what do I want from here? I want to learn the techniques to make more money, close more sales. And or I want to be able to talk like the good speakers out there. Then that is your intention. And then you reflect. So have I achieved that after listening to the person for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours? Next, after implementation, if you want to complete the learning package, you need to do these 4 things. Learn, reflect, implementation, and share. I don't know how many of you hear this before. The best way to learn something is to teach. Okay, I definitely believe like all my trainers from OrangeTee and Thai LDD, they do believe in what I'm saying. Because what they learn something, they reflect upon it, and then they try to explain it in the simplest possible language to the learners. And then they think of ways to implement it. At this point in time, implementation, I can share with you. You may not be able to, for example, I learned how to do HDB contract facility, but at this point in time, I do not have a client want to do HDB contract. So what do? You can always easily call out your partners, your buddies in your division, in your company, to actually say, can I just share with you my learnings? Share with you how am I going to advise you to do contract facility. And if the listening party understand what you're saying and feel comfortable with what you're saying, that means you're learning better. And then after 2 of you may want to conduct a class to share with more people. If there is no listener, never mind. Just do what I'm doing now. Talk to the screen, talk to the camera, which I seriously feel very stressed. I don't know why. I'm not good at talking to camera because there's nobody in the room now. All right. So let me see what's next. So if let's say talking about input and output, input learning, that is only supposed to be like my suggest amount effort is only 20%. Reflect, implementation, and share should be 80%. It should do that more. You want to master a skill, master a knowledge. Okay, you don't just learn, but you need to have the balanced amount of output. All right. So what I say just now, basically these are just some of the learning theories I kind of like read it over the place and I summarize it and put into one I thought is not bad. If you would like to find out more about it, you can go to this Feynman technique. Okay, he's actually a physicist and he's a Nobel winner and he come out with these Feynman techniques. I'm not going through in details here now. In future, if you have a chance, we can discuss about it because you need to learn how to learn. Then subsequent things will be much easier for you because you learn faster, more effectively. But if you can just remember what we mentioned just now, okay, the 4 steps in learning: learn, reflect, implement, and share. So next, what you want to know? I think from now onwards, you'll be more interested because this is very concerned you as a salesperson. Okay, so there's one thing I would like to say is that if you know about this photographic memory, you know some people they learn very fast and they remember things very well, and they call it photographic memory. And what are the techniques they use? They actually use visualization and association. Okay, what do I mean by association? Because all of us are adults, we definitely have our, at the back of our head, we do have our own understanding, experience, and knowledge that we have with us. So in order to learn new knowledge and to link to what we are doing, things will be easier. You get what I'm trying to say? So as a salesperson, number one thing, you need to know exactly what is estate agency work. Ask yourself, what are you doing every day? Some people can simply tell me that, oh, what is the agent's job? Is buy, sell, rent. I know that. I heard that. I was a salesperson before. But is that so? Do you think your job is just about buy, sell, rent? That simple? Frankly speaking, I feel that salesperson's job is tough, very, very tough. In order to do well, you really need to know a lot more things. As what I mentioned just now, you cannot be jack of all tricks. Okay, you need to be master of some tricks. All right. So first of all, know what we are learning, what we are doing as the agency work. For myself, I like to categorize. Okay, for those people who attended L360, probably know these 6 categories. What we agent do every day in and day out, is about analyzing. Step 1. Okay, in some of your language is called CMA, comparative market analysis. Basically, it's a point in time we accumulate enough knowledge, a lot of knowledge about the market. Okay, so what we are doing now, for example, attending classes by Raymond Khoo on the 7 key reasons to purchase property now, or all the speakers out there. Actually, what you are doing now is doing your analyzing, CMA. You need to have enough materials accumulate in your head so that you can continue with the next part of the work. Next, prospecting. We are agent, just like own business person, opening our own shops. We are selling things, but we need to have the product. Luckily, we don't need to create the product ourselves, but we just need to ask someone else to represent someone else. So we need to prospect for seller and or buyers. Okay, and then I can do flyer, I can do mailers, I can do door knock, I can do roadshow, I can do online marketing, digital marketing, Facebook, YouTube, so on and so forth. And then someone call me up and say, hey, Vincent, I'm interested to let you engage your service. You want to sell my property for me? And then I'll go for listing presentation. So listing presentation, that's a part when we need to learn about how to get exclusive, how to ask for 2% or more commissions. Okay, that's when we get it penned down and then have the listing in our shops. Listing marketing. So when you have the listings with you, that means your shop is open, you have all the products ready for you. That's when you will do marketing, be on like last time on newspaper, on Property Guru, on 99.co, on all the possible channels. Okay, on Facebook. Okay, that is the listing marketing until you get a client to, get a prospect, get a customer to come to your unit, come to your showroom to look at, to show interest of they want to see your property. That's when the negotiation goes on. Why didn't I use viewing and negotiation and closing, but I use negotiation? Because I always strongly believe that negotiation starts from the moment that a buyer enter into the showroom or a buyer enter into your property. That is the negotiation process starts already. So that's stage 5, negotiation. And then of course, negotiation, then you negotiate to close a deal, and the deal done. That's when you go on to the relationship maintenance. Sometimes I call it after sales service. And many times I find that this is very important. Why? Because in order to shorten your product cycle, if you do well in the after sales service, relationship maintenance, actually this is a place where you can churn out more leads, and your clients are recurring clients, and they recommend you to other friends. Like OrangeTee, you have the PAR. If people look at your good review, they actually engage you. That's when you don't need to do prospecting. The client just drop from the sky in a way, right? So whatever classes that you go to now, okay, please associate with something that you already know or you are already doing. For example, what for I learn about Facebook marketing? What for I learn about YouTube marketing? Maybe that's when I can do my prospecting. That's my purpose. And or maybe that's when I can do my listing marketing. So generally, I will look at B as getting product, C selling product, and A is about starting, D relationship maintenance is just the after sales service. Okay, so I think during the what I call that, during the dialogue session last Saturday, I was trying to advocate for project marketing for one reason. Actually, if you look at the cycle, what's the difference between resale and project? Basically, step 1, starting, getting knowledge. Whatever you do, you have to do the step 1 first to learn it, to analyze it. Okay, but for a project marketing department deals, Basically, the step 2 prospecting and listing presentation is done by company, done by Emily and her colleagues. Okay, so by the time you reach us, it's already listings. We have so many projects out there. It's already listing. So we just need to focus on listing, marketing, and closing the negotiation portion. And the good part of it is that the same client that bought the new project from us, okay, after a good relationship maintenance, they will be your future landlord, maybe, or your future seller. And if you recommend more friends to you, that's when your business kickstart as well. So now the key thing is, how do you kickstart your business well? Number one, through learning, and how to learn to do things more effectively. So next question, we have touched on why learn to learn, and how learn to learn, what learn to learn. Next is who. Look at the screen. It is you. Anyone wants to succeed. All right. And this is a learning techniques I have here. Why do I put so many you? It's not about repetition, but all of us, as I mentioned just now, there's a photographic memory. So if you put something like a pictures, okay, it's easier for you to remember. So now please help me. Remember that who need to learn? You need to learn. Okay. Anyway, I'm currently learning the association and visualization to improve my memory. And then I kind of believe that picturized memorying is actually really useful, because normally we do see of friends on the street and ask you, hey, you look familiar. Hey, I know your face. What's your name? But you don't see people asking you that, hey, I know your name. What's your face? So what I'm trying to say here is that you always remember picture. So how to memorize things easier is to draw association and visualize it as a picture. So it's easier for you. So you learn to learn. So when? The answer is now. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me for the past 30 minutes. Thank you. Bye-bye.